Hello YouTube and welcome to this video. I'm Marcus Hayes and today I've come around the garage to do a couple of jobs on MAUDE the MOREDOOR, my 2 litre Zetec powered Mk2 Escort. As I mentioned in my last video, I haven't really had much motivation lately to be working on my cars, but I've been off work all week this week, so I thought I might as well at least get a couple of bits done. So today I'm going to be fitting these brand new track control arms along with these Polybushes. Got these from Dave Sims Automotive and I'll leave a link to his eBay shop in the description of this video. The ones on the car, the bushes are looking very tired, and the track control arms are actually one of only a couple of parts on the car that haven't been polybushed, so it was always on the cards to upgrade these. While I'm at it, I'm also going to fit these brand new track rod ends, which I've got off eBay, Quentin Hazel, so pretty good quality. So a couple of quite easy jobs to do today, shouldn't cause me too much grief, so I'm just going to get my tools out and crack on. Right, so for some reason, these have been supplied to me with the rubber bush here, when the anti-roll bar goes through, so need to remove that before I can fit the polybushes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a hacksaw to cut a few slits into the bush, and then it should be easier for me to just fold it in and push it through. Yeah, so now I'm basically just going to use my screwdriver to force it through like that. Just leave it on these axle stands, make it a bit easier. Right, so I'm going to put the bushes in now. The poly bushes come in 2 halves, so it's literally just a case of putting one in like that, and then one in the other side, and then this metal sleeve goes through the middle. Now you're supposed to use proper Polybush grease for this, but I don't have any, so I'm just going to use multi-purpose grease. I'm sure it'd be better than using no grease at all. So there we have it, all assembled with the new Polybushes. Just going to put the other one together now and then jack the car up and crack on with the job. First thing I'm going to do is remove this anti-roll bar. Got 4 bolts here, because it's got a double width kit on it. Originally they only have 2. So 4 bolts here, 4 bolts the other side, and then around the back of the track control arm. Got this castellated nut each side. But what I'm going to do first is undo the nut that locks the track rod end on, to make it easier for me to change those later on. Alright, so that's the anti-roll bar off. Just going to put these castellated nuts back on here so I don't lose them. Right, next thing I'm going to do is split these ball joints and then that'll enable me to turn the strut so that I can disconnect the ball joint for the TCA. Obviously I'm not worried about damaging these because I'm replacing them. This one, last time I took these off, this got bent and I had to actually cut it down for me to be able to get the nut back on, so this one's ruined already. After much beating with a hammer, that one came out. Right, so we'll remove this split pin, undo this nut, and hopefully get this ball joint separated. Now I've never separated this since I first put the car together. Even when I've had to like remove the cross member, or when I removed the struts to replace the inserts for the Spax adjustable ones, I've always left the track control arm attached. So this might be a bit of a bitch, but we'll see what we can do. Right, so I'm going to use this ball joint splitter. Hopefully, should be able to split this ball joint, no problem. And there we have it. With a big bang, the ball joint is split. Now it's just a case of undoing this nut and bolt here, and then the track control arm's free. Alright, so there we have the old track control arm. Bush is looking a little bit deformed. I think the other side was a bit worse. You probably can't see, but there is little slight cracks in the rubber, which are obviously more apparent when it's all tightened up. Yeah, that one's quite bad. So yeah, hopefully switching to the Polybushed track control arm should tighten things up. So there it is, new track control arm fitted. Just going to replace this track rod end. Yeah, so these look pretty much the same. So basically I'm going to use the nut as a guide to how far it should be done up. So that nut will stay there to show me how far to screw the other one onto. Obviously it won't be bang on accurate. It'll leave the track in somewhere near. Alright, so that's one side done. I'm going to crack on with the other side off camera, and then we can get the anti-roll bar back on. So that's the other side done. So now we've got the track control arms and the track rod ends done on both sides. Now next thing I need to do is put the anti-roll bar back on. Now the anti-roll bar can be a bit of a pig to fit when your track control arms are at an angle like this when the car's jacked up. So what I normally do is lower the car back down onto its wheels, which will flatten those back out, then get the anti-roll bar into this bit and then jack the car back up to put all the bolts in, but don't do them up fully. Then lower the car back down again so that the weight's on all the suspension and that, and then do the bolts up to spec. So after struggling for about 3 hours to try and get the anti-roll bar on, I had to call it a day because the sun was going down and Kat's just come down to rescue me in her plastic Fiesta. Every time I try and put the anti-roll bar into the track control arm, the Polybushed keeps popping out. So I think I'm going to have to use a ratchet strap to put the anti-roll bar under tension, and then I should be able to get it in no problem. So I'll be down in a couple of days with a ratchet strap, and you'll be able to see that in just a few seconds. A couple of days have now passed, and the plan today is to get myself a ratchet strap and then go back round the garage to get the anti-roll bar fitted to the Mark II. But this morning, the silicone grease came through the post that I need to rebuild my mum's selector switch for her Astra. So I'm quickly just going to throw that switch back together before I head off round the garage. So that's the selector switch all back together. Hopefully I'll have enough time to get that back on the Astra today, but right now I need to focus on getting hold of a ratchet strap and trying to get that anti-roll bar fitted to the Mark II. Right, so I just got to my garage and it's raining, which is not ideal considering I'm going to be laying on my back trying to get this anti-roll bar fitted to the Mark II. Picked up this ratchet strap from Halfords on the way, so hopefully that'll enable me to put the anti-roll bar under tension and actually get it into the track control arms. So I'm just going to hook up the ratchet strap onto the anti-roll bar now and see how it goes. Alright, so I've tightened up the ratchet strap. It doesn't look like it's going to go much further before things start breaking, so I think it's about time I offered it up to the car and see if I'm able to get it into the track control arms. Right, so I've got the anti-roll bar fitted to the car. It was still an absolute mission, even with the ratchet strap, but I'm glad I've got it done. I didn't bother recording it because it's raining. I can't be asked to fit the selector switch back on the Astra now. It's pissing down with rain, I just want to go home. I'm going to end the video here, so as always, if you thought it was any good, give it a thumbs up. If you thought it was shit, give it a thumbs down. Click subscribe and activate the notification bell to be kept up to date with any other videos that I post in the future. Make sure you check out my Facebook page and my Instagram, and all the links you need for that will be in the description of this video as well. Until next time, thanks for watching.